Welcome back. You oftentimes hear me say on this program how we like to give people and teams their flowers on this program. So while this team is not featured in this week's Game of the Week, they've been on a run thus far this season that you could say almost every week they play is Game of the Week worthy.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about the Southwind Jaguars, who, by the way, were in our first Game of the Week of the season. They won that game over Los Angeles. We were there, and you guys haven't turned back since. So
joining us now on the program, the head man in charge of the Jags, head coach Jerome Griffin. Coach, I was out there last Thursday when you beat Briarcrest, and I must say it was like a heavyweight bout. Teams just trading touchdowns. You prevailed in that game 48-42, but a casualty of that was the scoreless streak, because before that game, the team hadn't given up any points since that Week 1 Game of the Week against Los Angeles. So tell me a little bit about all of that.
Yeah, so we had a couple of games we had shutouts, but coming into that last week we played Briarcrest, which was a really good team. I thought Hudson Tucker's a really good quarterback, and I knew that they were a well-balanced team. So I knew we had our hands full. We gave up some points, but we still came out with the victory.
Now, he's being very modest, which I appreciate. It's 4 shutouts is what it is in 6 games.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of games without giving up any points. And I think you guys average something like 77 yards a game on defense that you give up. It's a crazy low number. So talk a little bit about how that defense, because we always talk offense, but let's talk about how that defense has stepped up for you this year.
Well, the defense has played hard. They're anchored by Charles Sutherland, defensive tackle. So, those guys rally to the ball. They practice really hard, and we want shutouts every week, but it just depends on who you're playing and the skill level to get the guys you're going against. So, they did a good job, and we just got to go week to week and looking for another shutout.
Now, Coach, it might be because you're wearing the purple, but I say when I watch your team play, it reminds me a lot of the Ravens, and your quarterback, Kelvin Perkins, reminds me a lot of Lamar. Now, I know it was a lot of attention that's been put on him coming into the season, him being a former Mr. Tennessee guy. Talk to me about the growth you've seen from him this season.
Yeah, so Kevin is coming into a 3-year starter. He started mid-year of his freshman season. So every year I think he's gotten better. And now it's his senior year. I think he reads defenses a lot better. The opportunity to run, he takes a little more this year. And I just think that, you can really compare him to Lamar because he's very active. He can throw really good, but he also runs 4.5. So, he can do a whole lot for you.
Ruben, can you run that fast?
I can run about a 45. I ain't running no 4.5. Speaking of Mr. Perkins, I think he averages something like 260 yards a game of total offense. He's got 18 passing touchdowns, 24 total touchdowns on the year, somewhere in that mark. This kid really can do it all.
Yeah, he can, and like I said, this year we've been balanced, and I know his passing yards ain't no way up there like it's been the last couple of years, but we've taken what the defense has given us, and defenses have they have played soft and played us a lot more for the pass, so we've handed the ball off, and he's respected that, and at the end of the day we just want to win.
Yeah.
Going back to that Briarcrest game, what did you learn about your team in that to be able to go back and forth and still be able to prevail in the end?
So the Briarcrest game was good for us because I think it was a game that kind of humbled us. You get out there and you have all these games that you're holding people to zeros, and people start telling you how good you are. So I think the Briarcrest game was good for us in the fact that it was a dogfight, and we gave up some points, and the kids played hard, and nobody pointed a finger. We adjusted, and and we just played to win.
Isn't it something that it's just the private schools that are putting up the points, but then these public schools, y'all are whooping up on them? So that was just so interesting to me.
Yeah, well, hey, private school ball is good ball. They have kids that are coached really well. They come out of good systems, so it's a little different from public to private as far as playing games.
Let's talk a little bit about what you guys have to do this week. Talk a little bit about this week's matchup and kind of what you guys have to do to get prepared to continue doing what you've been doing well.
Yeah, so this week we have Kirby High School, so it's another week we just want to be 1-0. So Kirby is a team that a spread team that throw the ball a lot. So it's one of those games where we have to be disciplined, stay in our lanes, and make sure everybody is covering who they're supposed to cover and covering the area they're supposed to cover.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
Coach, I know it's easy to kind of look ahead of the schedule. And I know, like, you have to stay in the moment about focusing on who you have. But when you look at you guys, you almost kind of like still got a murderer's row ahead. You got Whitehaven. You got Germantown, which will surely probably be our game of the week. Just tell me, how do you keep the guys focused? Because I know when I was an athlete, I'm looking at my schedule and I'm like, okay, we got them, we got them. How do you keep the guys focused in the moment?
Well, we just preach 1-0. You know, right now we 1-0 this week, and Kirby's up next, so we just want to deal with Kirby. And when we get through with Kirby, we enjoy the weekend. Sunday evening, we start to prepare for the next game. So at this point, the guys understand, a couple of years ago we were 13-1. We made it one game from the state championship, and the guys understand how hard it is. So they understand that, hey, let's just focus on what we got ahead of us. And as we get on the season, Whitehaven's going to show up, Germantown's going to show up, and you just have to be ready at that point. But right now, it's Kirby's time.
Well, you just mentioned something that I was going to ask you about. Is you mentioned you have a mix. You got some youth on defense and some a little bit more veterans on offense. Are those seniors helping these younger players understand how long this season really is and what it takes to get to that state championship level?
Yeah, they are. So, like, the guys that are seniors were with us when we was 13-1. Kevin, Charles Sutherland's a team's captain, so they understand the grind, and and they lead by example. We hard with getting in the weight room every day, lifting hard, conditioning. Trying to have your body treated right, because a lot of games you get 12, 13 games, and then especially when you get into the playoffs, a lot of teams are run heavy, so it's a lot of grind on the body of tackling every play. So I think those guys do a good job of leading the team.
Tell me how you guys kind of feed off that home crowd energy. Now, I got to say, in comparison to probably some of the other schools like a Whitehaven or Germantown, it's not going to be as raucous, but you all find a way to channel that energy from the band onto the fans to the ringing the bell. Tell me about, and then it's like, it's muddy. At least I'll say at that last game, it was real muddy, you know what I'm saying? So tell me how you kind of use that grit and grind mentality, which is what the city of Memphis is known for, to kind of play into your favor. Yeah,
of course. Anytime you're playing at home, that home crowd just gives you that energy to go. We got somebody ringing the bell, we got somebody blowing a horn. That's all the home cooking. Those kids kind of meditate to that and let them know, hey, you at home, you got your fans supporting you. Let's give a little extra effort.
Well, they do it on the road, too. When we were at that Los Angeles game, I'm telling you, they had the horns and the megaphones, and they were not quiet at all. Your fans not afraid to make themselves known.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, before we get out of here, let's touch base real quick on, maybe somebody hasn't watched a Southwind game yet. Maybe they haven't come out and checked you guys out. What would you say to somebody who maybe has heard you guys are pretty good but hasn't come and seen it for themselves?
Hey, Southwind is a great football program. The school is a great school. Come out, like this week we're at Kirby. Next Friday is a big game, Whitehaven at Southwind. Come support, come to the game, come see some good high school football. Come early.
Arguably one of the best teams in the nation. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. I think I don't want to spew no rat poison. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta say on this program, I do believe y'all are one of, if not the best team in the Memphis area. But I know for y'all, it's 1-0 every week.
1-0.
All right, we'll keep you 1-0 right here. I'm not jinxing nothing. I'm just gonna let you ride and keep doing what you're doing. If something bad happens, you know who to holler at.
Hey, man.
All right.
Hey,
okay.
I'll take it.
As long as we're on the same page.
He like playing it safe on this program. He ain't never gonna give no take.
Thanks a lot, Coach, for your time. We appreciate you. Best of luck this week and going forward.
You. Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
All right,
Thank you guys for having me.